Hello, everyone. Today we're talking all about pricing. And I know from my personal experience, this can be a really awkward topic. It can be a very difficult, very challenging conversation to have, particularly if you're talking about pricing with schools, yoga studios, and with parents. Now, when I first started out teaching children's yoga, I really struggled to have conversations about money. Firstly, my money mindset was pretty terrible. I definitely didn't value my worth. I felt that I should be doing it for free, which is quite possibly something that you have also experienced. When we're working with children, particularly when we're working in yoga and mindfulness, we're very passionate about it. We absolutely love what we're doing. We know that we're making a really significant impact. We feel guilty for charging for it. So sometimes we do it for free on a volunteer basis, or sometimes we do it for a very small price or maybe donation only, which is definitely how I started and actually continued for about a year. So, firstly, money mindset is actually very important. Do you value your worth? Do you truly believe that the price that you're charging for your children's yoga classes is actually the true value? Because my guess is that you are undercharging probably by quite a significant amount. And that is really what I want to help you overcome today and to take some action on upgrading your prices and definitely upgrading your mindset around money and your own self-worth and what your classes really should be valued at. So firstly, I want you to just take a pen and paper and write down what you are currently charging for your classes. So it might be that you're doing it for free, it might be that you're doing donation, it might be that you're charging what you consider to be a high price or valuable price. So just write that down. And when you look at that price, how does it make you feel? Honestly, how does it make you feel? Maybe just journal a couple of words about how it makes you feel when you look at that price, or maybe that zero. How do you feel about that? Does it make you feel good? Do you feel like you are valuing yourself, your time, your experience, all of the energy that you're putting into your children's yoga classes? Or does it make you feel something else? Maybe it makes you feel guilty. Or maybe it makes you feel like you're not valuing yourself. So just write down a few words about how it makes you feel based on what you're currently charging. And then the next thing we're going to do is write down how your pricing compares to everyone else within your area. Now, depending on where you are teaching in the world, whether you're in a small town or a village or a city, depending on which country in the world you are working in, the price will really vary. So very often my teacher trainees ask me what is a suitable price or appropriate price to charge for children's yoga and meditation. And honestly, it really depends on where you are working. So this might take a little bit of research. So you might need to just get on Google or get on Facebook and spend a few minutes looking at pricing of other people in your area. So specifically looking at what other children's yoga and meditation teachers are charging, but also taking a look at what other children's activities are priced at. So maybe things like music and movement classes, swimming classes. So anything in your area to do with children that is being offered to parents or to schools. What is their pricing? And when I was first asked this, so I definitely used to undercharge massively. I used to do free classes because I felt really guilty, especially because I loved teaching children's yoga. I did donation-based classes. Whenever I was asked by a school or a studio about my pricing, I just felt super awkward about it. And I would just always say a price that I knew was far too low and really undervaluing myself, but I just felt so awkward and guilty about saying a higher price. And then one of my business coaches asked me to do a little bit of research. She told me that I was charging, really undercharging for my services, for my offerings. And I kind of agreed a little bit, but I wasn't really willing to put my prices up. But she asked me to just spend a few minutes to research what other people, my competitors, but what other people were charging for the same services that I was providing. And I was really, really shocked. And I felt so embarrassed by my prices. And at this point, I wasn't really getting many people through the door. So I was really struggling and actually losing quite a lot of money on my classes and workshops. And as soon as I saw what other teachers were charging, teachers who didn't have as much experience as I had, teachers who weren't certified, who didn't have the qualifications that I had, were charging almost double. Some of them were charging even triple what I was charging. And I just felt really shocked and embarrassed at my prices. And, I felt like I just was disrespecting myself and certainly undervaluing myself. And so once I had that sharp shock of a realization, I instantly increased my prices. Within 24 hours, I got almost 3 times the amount of signups for my workshops than I would usually have gotten over an entire month. And the reason for that is because if you're charging a price that is significantly low or donation based, people look at that and think, well, it must be pretty crappy. Maybe she is not certified, she's not qualified, she's not knowledgeable, she's not experienced, she doesn't know what she's doing. The classes are obviously not very valuable. And so parents and schools look elsewhere. So please do learn from my lesson. I certainly learned from this experience. And this then sent me on a long 2-year journey on shaping my money mindset so it's much more positive, so that I value myself, so that I ensure that I am respecting myself. And I'm really valuing all of my experience and my time and the energy that I put into my workshops and trainings. And I really hope that you will do that too. So your little challenge for now is to go and research and take a look at what other people are charging in your area, in the area in which you're working. Notice how that makes you feel. So just do a couple of minutes of journaling about how that makes you feel. You might be really surprised at what is going on in other children's yoga classes or other children's classes in your area. And then I want you to take action. So if you're increasing your prices, which I'm going to suggest that the majority, if not all of you do, if you are increasing your prices, you don't want to be the lowest. You don't want to be the cheapest, because that does not suggest quality. And quite honestly, with all the experience and the time and the energy and the qualifications that everybody has in this group, it's really important that you value that. And so you need to increase your prices so that you're at the mid-range, or if you really feel that you are offering the best and the most valuable classes and workshops in your area, then put your prices a little higher. And this is probably going to make you feel uncomfortable. And I know that when I increased my prices, although at first it felt good, it felt like, yeah, I should really be doing this. I'm getting more value. I'm offering a lot of value. I am experienced. I am certified. I've got 18 years experience of working with families and children. I should be up there on the higher end. And I felt that, but at the same time, my mind was saying, yeah, but if people are not willing to pay the lower price, why would they pay the higher price? And so I had to put myself in a really uncomfortable position. I had to really overcome some of my own personal and mental boundaries. But I'm so glad that I did, because honestly, if I'd have continued running my workshops and trainings at those low prices, I would not be here right now, because I would not have been able to sustain myself. running around as at this time, international yoga teacher, so moving all around the world, and I was losing money. So it just wasn't sustainable. And I knew that if I was to increase my prices, not only would I be able to continue on this mission of sharing yoga and mindfulness with as many children as possible, as many teachers and parents as possible, but it also meant that more money would mean that I would be able to open up more projects. And for some of you, you know that my grand goal is to take over the world with children's meditation, mindfulness, and yoga. And if my business is bringing in more money, that means that I have a larger capacity and a much greater ability to be able to share children's yoga and mindfulness on a bigger scale. And I can now support children's charities that I truly believe in. And I'm working towards setting up my own children's charity so that I can just keep on sharing. And as I say, if I hadn't have increased my prices back then, I would not be here now. I would probably have had to take another international school teaching role, which was not something that I really wanted to go back into. So increasing your prices, even if it's just by a small amount, can make a significant impact, not on just your own business life and your personal life, but on how many children and families you actually reach. So go ahead, do some research, even if it's just 10 minutes. Have a look what's going on in your local area in children's yoga and meditation, and decide how you're going to take action. How are you going to increase your prices so that you are truly valuing yourself and ensuring that you are sharing with the world that your classes really are worthy, that what you're offering is so valuable. And I truly believe that, and I do hope that you believe that about your own classes and workshops. So once you've decided to take action, hop on over to our Facebook group, into our supportive community, and share your insights. How did it feel to discover what was going on with regards to pricing in your area, and how are you going to take action? This is probably, as I said, it's going to be an awkward one. It's going to push you to your boundaries. It's maybe even going to push you over your edge a little bit, but I promise you will not look back. This is going to be a huge step forward for you, from going to empty yoga mats to sold out classes.